lovely quiet room, and if you wanted, it's in a way, it's funny. It's a bit like church. If you want a bit of peace and quiet, you can go to a church and sit down. You don't have to be religious, but it's just quiet. You can just reflect or whatever. The drawing room was brilliant. If you just wanted to get away from it all, just sit in there quietly. It's lovely. It's the most beautiful room. It's somewhere just a little bit special, which hadn't been destroyed by us.
Until the early 19th century, this room formed part of the drawing room, as the rearranged panelling reveals. The plain stone fireplace probably also dates from this period, although the tiled and cast iron insert is of the 1920s, as is the Oriental style wallpaper, which comprises one of the few decorative schemes that survives at Nunnington from the period of Walter Brearley's work in the late 1920s.
We had it as a spare room, and we called it the bird room because the wallpaper is just covered in birds. It's well nice and original. Original to when, I don't know, but original. I didn't know the Colonel. He died, I think, in 1947. He spent a lot of his years in Africa and India. In the army, he's based in, well, he's in India. He's in India for many, many years, and I don't know what he quite did in the army out there, but he seemed to play polo a lot. But the first war, he was highly decorated. He got DSO and 2 bars, and he obviously did something right.
One of the items in this room is a painting of Mrs. Fife as a child. In its day, it was the subject of some controversy, as originally the child's dress stopped above her knee. Mrs. Fife's mother was offended by this, as this was considered to be indecent. So she insisted that the artist make the dress longer. If you look closely, you can see the brushstrokes that were later added.
It's we call it the south bedroom, which is a beautifully light, airy room. It's got 2 windows, high windows like this one here. It's always been a light, bright, airy room, and it used to be again when we lived here, a spare room. Her dressing room is a smashing room. That's a quiet little room, and it's the sort of room one could sit in quietly in. It sounds as if I spent my whole life sitting quietly in it. It's not true.
panelling in this room dates from the era of Sir Thomas Norcliffe, a parliamentarian who occupied the house in the early 17th century.
We used to have a spare room. The hostess would ask people to come and stay, and you'd have house parties rather than dances. And my mum used to write to these people and ask them how tall they were. And it used to think it a bit strange, because it didn't matter, because that four-poster would only sleep comfortably somebody who's about 5'6" to 5'8". Now if you're 6 foot, your feet would be sticking out the end, you see. So that's why she asked.
Prior to the invention of corridors in the 18th century, all rooms were interlocking.
Thomas Norcliffe, he was a parliamentarian, and he allowed troops to stay in this house. They think for the siege of Helmstead Castle, of course, like any soldiers built it anywhere, they get bored unless you keep under control, and you can still see what they left there. They carved up the panelling without, obviously without bayonets, just hacking away. And I think it destroyed the house in a big way. So much so I think Norcliffe sold it.
So many memories. I've known this place since birth. I inherited it when I was just 12, after the death of my father, Thomas. As he did from grandfather. We're also called Thomas. Funny that. We're actually grandfather, who were first Sir Thomas Norcliffe, and he made this place what it is today. My life seems to be much less simple. I got the village to sign the protestation back in 41. Was that a good thing? I don't know. After that, I took 60 men down the church on that fateful day in March to swear loyalty to the King. Then what do? I hang my hat with Cromwell's lot just a year later. Well, a man's got to stay alive, hasn't he? It were hell at Marston Moor. Upwards of 20,000 people. Slaughtered all around me. So much worse than siege at Helmsley. Took its toll nonetheless. Old Jordan Crossland held it for King for over 3 months. I was forced into billeting common soldiers in my house. And the damage they left is still plain to see. Still, that's the past. Too many bad memories. Let's look to the future now. I have a new house built at Langton. Now, I wonder what I can take with me.
In fact, Sir Thomas stripped the house of everything of value. The windows, the doors, everything down to the brewing utensils. He never returned to Nunnington again. This room is how the nursery would have looked in the 1920s. Many of the toys belonged to the children of the Clive family. This doll's house is one of only several in existence dating from the era.
I believe before the war there were 10 servants. A cook housekeeper, kitchen maid, scullery maid, head housemaid, second housemaid, nursery schoolroom maid and lady's maid.